All right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Welcome to Moments of Change, or sorry, not Moments of Change, Moments in Recovery. This is our first show. I knew I was going to screw something up. Not my first rodeo, but certainly our first shot at Moments in Recovery with Karyn and I. And we are from Addiction Training Center. And this show is being brought to you by Live Out Loud Productions. There's a whole list of things going on, but we want to explain and take a few minutes to tell everybody who we are and why we believe in what we do. Is that right, Karyn?
Absolutely right.
All right. So we are Addiction Training Center. We do trainings for people who would like to learn how to deal with addictions and help people with addictions. We have certified interventionist trainings. We're going to explain that, and that's what this show is really going to be about, is explaining that. But we also have Live Out Loud Productions, where we do podcasting for other people. We do podcasting for ourselves, of course. We've got a whole slew of things going on. But Karyn and I, we've known each other. How long have we known each other?
We have known each other 38 years.
38 years.
38 years, maybe 39. Maybe it could be 39. I think I was just a couple years sober when you got into recovery. And I think that must be almost 39 years ago.
I think that sounds about
right.
That
is unbelievable, like when you think about it.
39 years.
Long time.
39 years. And she never liked me, is the truth.
Still don't. No.
People, every once in a while we're out and we work together. We've been in business together for, 15 years, something like that.
Business partners.
And it's kind of melded and molded. And we've worked together in treatment centers and done things like that. Some people, they say, isn't it like, are you guys married? It's just, no, we're best friends. We know each other. We live 3 houses down from each other.
Do.
And that's after living in New York and then moving down here and ending up with houses 3 doors from each other. But we're best friends, and we kind of, she's the yin to my yang and vice versa.
That's true.
We often say that that we share a brain and we don't know who's using it on a certain day.
Which day do I have the brain? Which day does he have the brain? Because today is not the day that I have the brain. Obviously, I could not speak all day.
But our lives were built completely around recovery. And, the recovery for me, recovery saved my life, obviously saved Karyn's life as well. And it became much more than just our own personal recovery. It became a part of what we do every day, and trying to find ways to help as many people as possible to find recovery.
I was thinking this was, last month was my anniversary month. And I think anybody who's in recovery thinks about things that have gone on in the past around your anniversary month. And I was thinking about getting sober and how unhappy I was and how miserable, as you probably remember, Scott, how miserable I was. And if it wasn't for the fact, we talked about this the other day, we rode motorcycles.
Yeah.
And if anybody had an issue, somebody was called and a group of people would show up at your house and we would go for a motorcycle ride. And it was the one time that things were quiet. And I see down here, I moved down here 15 years ago. I think you moved like 12 or something.
Yeah.
But one of the things I see down here is a lot of the people we've come in contact with, firefighters, people working in treatment, they ride motorcycles. And everybody has that. If you have ever ridden, you have that love of the quiet and just, it's a one time, like a meeting, only one person talks. You have that.
That's my fault.
And that's his fault. But there's something about that. And more than motorcycles, it was a group of people that cared about you. And I don't know about anybody else, but I was not lovable or cared about a lot in my life, a lot of destruction. But it was the one time that people came and they cared about you. And being sober in those years, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful because you and I both have many of the friends that we had from the beginning because of that solid start. I'm still in touch with those people, as you are.
Absolutely. And it was all about the fellowship and being supportive of each other. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, as much as that's all nice and good, we've lost a lot of people too. Yeah. And we've lost some recently, and we've lost some in the past. But at the end of the day, we've lost people. We didn't lose people because, certainly we've lost people because of things like cancer and other things. We had some losses there. But too many of them we lost from something that doesn't have to be fatal,
right,
which is addiction and alcoholism. It does not have to be fatal. Now, it goes a little bit beyond it's just a choice, because there's a whole lot that needs to be done and help that needs to be had. But at the end of the day, this is the one killer thing out there. If you call it, I'm not going to say disease or not disease, because we don't want to have that argument.
Whatever it is.
But it's the one thing out there that is killing people at an alarming rate. As a matter of fact, in 2020 and into 2021, we've seen anywhere from 40 to 70% increases in overdose deaths
Yes.
in metropolitan areas. Oregon, a 72% increase in Oregon because of the isolation and everything. But it's so preventable.
Well, my brother was one of them.
Your brother was one of them.
He was a firefighter, and he was one of them. And it's like he would say to me, I know you're an alcoholic. I know you don't do that. You don't drink and use anymore. You don't shoot up anymore. You don't do anything anymore. I'm not going to do that. And there's that dilemma. How do you get to people who don't want to be talked to? That's the whole thing. You can't give somebody a pill and they're better. You can't therapize somebody, is that a word, therapize? No, but that's okay.
We're going to go with it. You can't give someone therapy. I'll try to be more intelligent. You can't give somebody therapy who doesn't want it. You can't. The key is to connect with the human being that is trapped inside that addict or alcoholic. Connect with that little boy or little girl or the human being who's just trying to get out. And if you can connect with them for a moment and make them willing enough to listen and try, they have a shot. They have a shot at recovery. They have a shot at living a good life and a normal life and a better life, even better than they would have had any other way.
Right.
But you've got to connect with them. And that's what we're all about. We're about teaching people. We were trying to do it all one at a time.
Right.
You and I.
Therapists and program directors. And
you know what? Our hands were tied everywhere we turned because of business. And we get it. And it's not all bad business. But, you're in treatment centers, you're in different places, and you got all these. So we're like, and we can't just go out on the streets and start doing it because we're not going to make the effect. So we created this course. There was other stories behind it, which aren't important. But the truth is, what it came down to, the passion for Karyn and I, was if enough people know how to communicate with someone who is hurting, and if you can make that connection with them for a moment when they're at their worst, maybe they'll accept help and maybe they'll start making a change. And just maybe they can find recovery, and it's worth it.
Well, and how many people, I think about myself, somebody brings up something and immediately what was my reaction? No. And those people, I was so lonely, so empty. And you and I talked about that, that you would like run away when I didn't like you. And I would just want to fight. And the bottom line is, if you know how to talk to somebody from inside yourself and you think about how you felt and what would be the thing that worked, and everything is different. If you were nice to me, I didn't know what to do with you. If you weren't, I know exactly what to do with you. So if you listen to people and just let them talk to you, you're going to find exactly what to do. And we built this course on that.
Absolutely. Everybody sends out those little nuggets, that little piece of information that if you could learn to glean off of that, you could communicate with anybody.
That's right.
There's one thing you have to do is there's two things you have to do. One is you have to put your ego aside when you're dealing with somebody, because this isn't about you. And the other thing you have to do is put away judgment, because your judgment, all the judgment in the world, all the shame and all the guilt in the world will not help. As a matter of fact, if you come from guilt and shame, and that's what you're trying to do to get somebody to get better, you're driving them deeper into their addiction. You're not pulling them out. They've already been abused by themselves. They don't need your help on that.
That's right.
They need you to understand and if not understand, at least empathize.
I had an amazing firefighter that took our course up in Illinois. And he emailed me afterwards and said, can I take those parts again? Because I'm finding that I'm communicating in the department a whole lot better than I did before, because now I'm thinking and I'm listening and I am stopping to build rapport with somebody.
Yes.
And I didn't do that before. I didn't even know about it. I learned so much about how to talk to people. So those kinds of things are really important. And we've put them in our course so that you can utilize them from yourself out.
Now, I want to talk about the course. I want to put up here that Colleen Ann has messaged us and said, "Hi, Scott and Karyn. Love you guys. I'm grateful to both of you." And I remember Colleen, and so grateful
Yes.
to be a part of your recovery and to watch your journey as well. Also, we have a comment from Karen at Crazy About Costumes, a friend of ours
Karen,
in
hi.
Fort Lauderdale. Go check them out if you're in Fort Lauderdale. But she says this is very important in all of our lives, and that we all need each other. And that's the point. That's the point of this. We looked at certain courses. Now, Karen and I both have been certified in a bunch of different areas. Just, you get a chance, you get an opportunity, you want to go learn about NLP or nutrition or this or that. And we've gone and we've done a lot of these. And what we found is a lot of these were cost prohibitive, first of all.
Right.
And a lot of them were so top heavy with things that really didn't apply that we had to simplify this. And we had to understand that the intervention that you see on TV, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to tell you, first of all, you do know they pay the addicts to be on there, because there's not a self-respecting addict out there who would take you to their dealer unless they're getting some money out of it.
The crack house wouldn't sit there and let you walk in if they weren't being paid.
Yeah, can I film
and
you
they're
at your?
probably gone tomorrow.
Can I film you at your crack house? No. Yeah, they're getting. I've heard as much as $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 to do this, and most of those episodes are end in failure. It looks like they're going into treatment, but they actually don't. I mean, and in reality, when you have a long, drawn-out intervention process, many of them do fail because of the length of time and the number of people involved. I want everybody to think about this for one moment. Think about any change that you've made in your life. Can you trace it down to some long process, or was it really more about a connection you made with somebody who said something that sparked something within you? That's where most changes happen. Most changes don't happen over years. They happen in moments. They happen in a moment when you decide, I want to do this and not do that, or I want to try this and not try that. That's where change happens. And that's why we base this course, our intervention course, on the event, on the moment. We don't know when it's going to come. We don't know when we're going to be in front of somebody who's desperate for help. But if you're prepared to talk to them, you really can help.
Listen.
And listen.
And listen, because one of the things about addicts is no one listens. Somebody else always thinks they know better. And you know what? The very fact that someone survives through all the things that we did, listen, addicts aren't stupid.
Yeah.
Addicts are intelligent people, or they wouldn't be alive. And it doesn't mean that the people that relapsed weren't intelligent. It means that the drugs that are out there are so horrific and so horrible that people cannot live through them, and we must stop that.
We can't afford to waste any more time on this. Every death out there, I don't want you to think about it as an addict who's dying. I want you to think about it as somebody's brother or sister, mother, father, husband, wife, son, or daughter. That's what they are. I don't care what the addiction has led them to do. They are somebody important to somebody, and we need to be there. We need to do something about it. So again, we created this intervention training as a certified event intervention training. Now it is certified. We're going to get into some technicals real quick, but we'll keep it quick because I want to keep this light. But we are certified through NADAC, which is very important. Can you tell us why, Karen?
One of the things about NADAC, and it's the National Addiction Association.
National Association of Addiction and Drug and Alcohol Counselors. Yeah.
So one of the things about NADAC is it's very hard to get. It took us they sent it back to us 3 or 4 times. It was almost a year in development and writing and following their structure. And so we're very proud of it. And we're nationally certified. We didn't want to be just in one state or another. We worked hard to have a whole national certification. So when you're certified with our course, you are nationally certified. You can go anywhere in the U.S. and do an intervention and be respected for what you do. So you're a CEI, you're a certified event interventionist. One of the reasons that we have not actually had memberships expire is because our whole idea here was Scott and I could do therapy one-on-one. We could be program directors. We could develop programs, which we have. But how many people were we reaching? And our idea was if we trained enough people, an army, I love what the vets say about boots on the ground, because that's how I feel about our course.
Yeah.
If there's enough people on the ground with the education, imagine what we could do. We could save a lot of lives And that's so important because, like Scott said, people are dying. People that in our families, I'm sure many people listening either almost died yourself, or you know somebody who did die or could have. And addiction is the number one killer in the United States and probably worldwide at this point.
It is.
We have to do something. Let's band together as a network.
Yes, absolutely. And it's as a community, it's as a nation, it's as a people that we're going to solve this problem, not by waiting for some government agency to come up with the idea or more funding or this or that. It's by us getting off of our butts, is the truth, and helping the people that we know that need help. There was an actress, and I don't want to put the name out there because I don't want to have an issue with this, but her brother's a famous actress. Her brother died several years back from an addiction thing, and she sat on a talk show and said, "We all got tired of talking to him because we ran out of things to say." Don't run out of things to say. Get some more information. This is why our course is out there. And here's the other thing, is that we make this course. This course can be taken online. It's done at your convenience. It's really all about how to communicate and how to be adaptable in your communication, how to decide how that person needs to hear the information and deliver it in the proper way. It's that easy. It's online, so you could take it at your convenience. If you took it beginning to end, you're talking 6.5 hours of your time. You know, we stripped down all the bells and whistles, and we made it all about the communication and all about the process of how do you help somebody. And we made it very affordable. I mean,
Very.
I'm going to tell you right now, the normal price is $275. That's it, $275, and you are certified CEI, which means behind your name you could put the initials
CEI.
Bob Smith CEI.
Yep.
If your name's not Bob Smith, probably put something else in there, but you do get to use the CEI. Now, what I'm going to tell you right now is that if you would like a discount, and if you're watching this right now, and if you call Karyn at this number anytime and tell her you saw it on Moments in Recovery podcast, we're going to give you a discount on that too. So make sure that you give Karyn a call.
Call me. I'll talk to you, and we'll talk about how we can work together. And we're happy to have you on board. You know, the ATC is put together a network of treatment centers, of individuals, of moms, of dads, of firefighters, first responders, educators. We have, you know, in our group, and we have a whole YouTube channel. And as people come on board, we want you to be able to see all the different people and the different podcasts that we do. And you know, this has to work. If grassroots is what changes everything. If you think about it, I'm an old 60s person, so I'm an old hippie. But you know what? Change came from grassroots. It doesn't change, like Scott says, It doesn't change from the top. You can put, how many billions of dollars have they put out just to say no? Who said no? I didn't say no.
Right.
We didn't say no. And people don't say no. How can we make a difference, one person at a time joining us, so that we'll get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we really get to make a change? And we're going to do it.
I'm excited to be one of the people who feels that I have the ability to help people. It's not always successful. I'm going to tell you that right now. Before you start thinking that we found some secret, it's not a secret. This is simple communication skills that the truth is most people out there know these skills, but they don't utilize them properly. They allow their emotions to take over, or they get frustrated, or they run out of ideas. And so that's why we have this. So you don't have to do that. All the skills we teach are skills that you're going to kind of hit yourself in the head. Wow, I kind of knew that, but I didn't know I could use it this way. There are great things you can do. And this goes beyond intervention for somebody who is out on the street. We've been working a lot in treatment centers, training their staff. You know, it's all well and good to train the therapists and the CEOs and stuff, and we do that, and we appreciate the jobs they do. But, you know, the funny thing is when somebody's in a treatment center, it's just like being in a hospital, people. I mean, if you've never been in treatment, think about being in a hospital. How much time do you really spend with the doctor? It's all the nurses. It's the people on the floor. It's even, you probably spend more time with the guy sweeping the floor in the hospital than you do with the doctor. So why don't they have the training? That's what we're doing. We're bringing this training into treatment centers so that when somebody starts to feel that they're going to run and they're not going to finish the program, they're not going to be able to do it, they start getting really escalated and feeling bad or want to leave, that BHT, behavioral health tech or coach or whatever they call them, whoever's on the floor can walk up and they know how to communicate and calm the person down. We teach de-escalation. We teach people how to build rapport, and building rapport is like the greatest skill you can possess in any walk of life.
And that's true. And at the end, they may not go to treatment, but you know what? If you've treated somebody with respect,
Yeah.
and you've treated, we talk about this in the course a lot when we do live courses, and we are certainly open to live courses as well. Just let me say that. And we do this back and forth thing, but you'd love it. Anyway, one of the things about respect is that when you're using and drinking, you don't have much respect for yourself. Your family doesn't have respect for you. So you start feeling like you're not worth anything. When you start treating another human being like respect, whether they go to treatment right then or not, they walk away with that feeling. And it's so different than anything they've had for a long, long time. The seed was planted. So the goal is to really treat another human being with respect. And I think that makes a huge difference. We've had people call us back 7 months later and want to go to treatment, or a year later even, and want to go to treatment.
And let me tell you, like I said, this is not a miracle. These are skills that are needed, but we're going to have rejections. We're going to have times when it's not going to work. But let me tell you, if you do this 100 times and only one person listens to you, that's one life that you possibly saved. Isn't it worth doing? Isn't it worth doing? If you have a company, if you have a lot of people that are in your charge, whether it's in first responders or a corporation or even in a community group, and you want to be of service to them, learn skills like this so that when the addiction does rear its head, which odds are it will, if you've got more than 10 people in a room, chances are you got 2 people who may have an addiction problem. Those are the kind of scary numbers we're looking at right now. Don't you want to be the one who's able to help? Don't you want to be the one that's able to stand up and say, I'm here for my people. I'm here for the people I care about. Family members. I mean, it could help with your understanding. Maybe you've got family members that are even in recovery, or maybe you're in recovery yourself and you keep saying to yourself, I want to give back somehow. This is a great opportunity. Not to mention the fact it does not hurt when you're going out there. If you want to work in the addiction field and if you got the CEI designation, it does help. It does help. So there's a lot of reasons to take the course. And Karyn and I could talk about it all day. But the bottom line is, if you've talked about making a difference, stop talking about it and start doing it.
That's correct.
I mean,
take that step. Take the step forward. Call us. Let us talk to you about what the course is. Take it online. If you can get 10 people together, we can, especially down here in South Florida, if you want us to come to other places, we'll work that out. But the main goal here is let's get a whole nationwide network put together to help other human beings.
Now you can check us out. We've got our Addiction Training Center Facebook page. Go to atceducation.com and you can view our website. If you want to see some more, we do other programming too. And some of it's a little fun and some of it's very serious, but it's all based in trying to help people and spread the word about, not spreading the word about addiction. We already know about addiction. We're trying to spread the word that everyone can recover. That's the word we're trying to spread. So you can go to theatcnetwork.com. That'll take you right to our YouTube page, which is the ATC Network YouTube page. And that's got all of our videos on there. And please share this. If you're watching this on Facebook, I know we don't have a lot of people watching live right now because it is 3:00 on a Saturday or a Tuesday afternoon. Well, I wish it was Saturday. That's what I was about to say. It's, we understand that, but share this with people. If you could pass this on to somebody who's works in addiction or wants to be involved, maybe even somebody who needs some help themselves. And by the way, you can call that number if you need some help yourself. And if you're not calling about the addiction training, but you just want somebody to talk to or need some help, Karyn will talk to you.
I will. I'm here. The other thing I was thinking about is we have that 25-minute overview of the course.
Yeah.
If people want to put a group together and do an overview, people on Facebook, people ever give us a call. We'll put a group together and we'll do a meeting and really show you what the course is all about. We can do that as well.
Absolutely.
We can do just about anything you want to help another human being.
Karyn and I have both been blessed to have a second chance at life. And it's all because somebody reached their hand out to us. And it was in a moment when we needed it. I would hate to think where my life would be if I'd have a life at all, had that hand not been there when I needed it. If people had just walked away and said, there's no talking to them, if they gave up, if they didn't even try, I don't even want to know what my life would have been.
Well, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I simply wouldn't be here. I was compulsive, obsessive. I simply would not be here.
So get involved, help people out. We're going to do more of these shows. We're going to come to you 2 to 3 times a week with Moments in Recovery. Sometimes it'll be just a recovery story. Sometimes it'll be some information. Sometimes it'll be to answer questions maybe that you guys send to us. If you want to email either one of us, you can email Karyn at Addiction Training Center or Scott at Addiction Training Center, either one of us. .com, of course. Yes. addictiontrainingcenter.com. Please, if you have any questions or anything like that. But I think that's what we wanted to lay out there today. I hope you get a little flavor of who we are and where our passion lies. Right?
I think so. That's exactly what we wanted to do. And thank you for listening to us. Thank many of you. We already know. And please come back and help us any way that you want to. Come and help us, call us, talk to us. And we're here.
I want to thank, I know there's a few people out there that have been popping their heads up and down, David and Karen and Colleen and Lynn, and, appreciate all of you guys, taking a few moments. And again, just please pass this on and let us know if there's anything that we can do to help you so that you can start to make a difference in your communities, your families, your workplaces, in your nation.
Thank you so much.
We'll catch you next time right here on Moments in Recovery. God bless y'all.
Thank you.